There are 4 teams in the top 10 in both offensive and defensive efficiency at this point in the season. 2 of them meet tonight in Philadelphia when the Raptors take on the 76ers. Jim Jackson is part of the players-only crew tonight in Philly and with us here on Game Time. And Jim, with the deadline coming up Thursday, as you look at these teams, which of them looks like the tougher playoff out as they're currently constructed?
Well, when you have 2 superstars like, well, 3 really with Philadelphia 76ers with Embiid and Simmons and also Jimmy Butler, that is tough for teams to kind of negotiate against defensively, because as soon as you try to take one thing away, something else opens up. I think the strength of this Philadelphia team is the ability to pass the ball with assists, to get guys involved. But Toronto, keep in mind, this Toronto team, when they started out earlier this season, when they were healthy, you could contend that they were probably one of the better teams in the league. They haven't had the health to consistently play together, but it'll be interesting to see after the All-Star break, you know, really with Lowry, Valanciunas, and he's back, how they kind of join together and kind of take what they did at the beginning of the year when everybody said Toronto could beat Golden State in the 7-game series, to see where they're at. But both are a tough out. They pose different problems each. Shooting is also an issue with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, I remember how much better they got in that department last year with Bellinelli and Ilyasova coming over.
Yeah.
There's a report out there that the Raptors called Memphis and offered a deal that would bring in Mike Conley and Marc Gasol and send Kyle Lowry and Jonas Valanciunas back to Memphis for a team 22 games over 500. How much sense would that deal make to you?
Well, first of all, you're going to hear all kind of rumors when it comes around, you know, trade time. And I've been involved in a lot of them, so trust me, I know how that feels. But my sources tell me that the call actually came from Memphis to inquire. And if you're the general management staff there, Masai Ujiri, you have to kind of listen to it. But to me, I heard it was initiated on the Memphis side, not so much on the Toronto side. And I think here's the key, too. When that happens, it's very important that, you know, Masai really talked to his guys in regards to what's going on, because Kyle Lowry, he hears this, you know, he hears it. So you want to make sure that he's in tune and he's caught up to date on what's really going on, because you don't want to cause any friction in regards to trade rumors at this particular junction of the season. But again, I heard it came from the Memphis side. And if you're Memphis, I mean, you want to go out there and test the market and see and catch the pulse of these different teams to see what you can get for those 2 assets.
Jim Jackson, breaking news here on Game Time, or refuting reports, one of the 2, I guess. You know, Philly got a taste of the postseason last year, beat Miami, lost to Boston, and in those losses, the execution was terrible. I mean, let's just say it for Philadelphia. How much does Jimmy Butler's presence this year address that particular issue?
Well, from 2 things. One, it gives you a veteran who's been in playoff games before. I think that's very important, because you think about it, last year, Brett Brown, first time head coach, Embiid and Simmons, first time. So the actual physical nature and how you had to make adjustments to playoff basketball was something that they haven't seen. And those are your 2-star players. So the only way, and I'm sure J. Kidd understands this, the only way you kind of get through that and understand what that is about is to go through it. And they felt that pressure last year from Boston. And this year they're a different team in regards to the maturity level in which they bring to the table. I think when you add a Jimmy Butler, that toughness is different. I think even Brett Brown, when he looks at it and says, you know, what adjustments do I have to make now going into the playoffs and when we're in the 7-game series that allow our team to win. Now, keep in mind, Philadelphia, too, still in the market, maybe to add another piece, a veteran presence. You know, Wes Matthews' name has been thrown out there in regards to a buyout scenario. That adds depth to your bench. It adds another veteran player, a guy that can defend, a guy that can shoot. So it's still some things I think that Philly wants to improve on structurally with their team. But going through what they went through last year, I think, is ultimately going to prepare them what they're going to face this year.
Jim Jackson with us, part of the Players Only broadcast tonight on TNT. I saw Kevin McHale walking around back there. We saw Dennis Scott interfering with our shot before we talked to you on the air. Who else are you with tonight?
GA, Greg Anthony.
GA, that
mayor,
makes sense.
The mayor.
Yeah,
the
he
mayor.
is sort of the mayor, isn't he? Tell him all we said hello, and we'll see you on the air at the top of the hour.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.